Hey friends, welcome to summer update number 2. Yay! So excited. I'm here to talk to you about my summer here at the children's homes and the things that I've learned and the things that I'm coming to understand about myself and about God and about the kids here. So if you saw the first update, you know that I'm living amongst children, yay! Which is like, oh, my whole heart. Um, and I have come to know, since the first update, I've come to know some of these kids um, greatly. Like, they are my close friends. I'm about a month in, which is a long time when you see them all day, every day. So I'm getting to really know their hearts and really know where their passions lie and where each of them have been hurt and scarred in the ways that they've been damaged by the world. But I'm also getting to know where the Lord has healed them. And the things that they've been through have come to build them stronger. And so that's just been a really amazing experience. So since the last update, we've done a lot of field trips. We've done a lot of, we've had a lot of groups come into the children's home and they'll host BBSs and they'll host little camps, like basketball camps and stuff like that. And the kids really love the activities and they love getting to know the youth groups that come in and the college students that come in, and I love that part too. Just to see the number of people that have a heart for children in South Texas. So that's just been really incredible. So let's see, as far as field trips, since last update I have gone to the aquarium, which was super fun. The kids love seeing all the fish, and there's all these sharks that come right next to you, and you're like, which is cool. And we have gone to see Captain Underpants, the movie, in theaters. So there was that experience. Let's see, we have gone to a Corpus Christi Hooks game, which was neat because the kids got to hang out and just kind of be themselves, and it was good because the house spirits game, which meant that they behaved, and so I got to watch the game and hang out and be friends, which was fun. We have done multiple dodgeball tournaments. So dodgeball is a big part of children's home life here. Like, if you're not good at dodgeball, it's like you're shut. So yeah, I've learned that skill, adding that to my resume. So there's that. Let's see, we have done bowling, which I'm not good at that, but we only went once, so it's okay. We did a paint war with the kids, so I was able to throw paint at children, always fun. And I have a souvenir t-shirt because of that, which I'm not wearing, but it's wonderful, so that's a good thing. We also did a mud war, less cute, but it was fun. Got to throw mud at children also. There's a lot of throwing things at people here. Anyway, we went to the San Antonio Zoo. That was just a couple days ago, and the kids loved that. It was very hot, but it was really, really fun. And the way that we do those field trips, we each split off with a few kids, so it's not like we're hurting the whole time. We get to kind of go, I get 2 kids and we go wherever those 2 or 3 kids want to go, which is good. I happen to get the 2 boys that love the snakes. So I was in the snake house, but that's fine. It's fine. I lived. So that was good. And let's see. I've written them all down because there's so many things that we've done. Next week we're going to youth camp, which is like all-time fave. I got to go. I got selected this year to go. I'm so excited. I keep finding ways to go to camp. I really am not sure how I'm doing it, but it's fine. I'm going back to camp. So that's exciting. And let's see, almost every weekday, Erin, one of the other interns, and I do babysitting. So we take the kids that are under 4 and we'll go hang out with them in the library and watch Dora the Explorer and VeggieTales and all those good things, just for a couple hours every day, which is fun. I love those kids so much. That's been good. We have swimming just about every day. So I've learned to swim. No, I'm just kidding. I knew how to swim, but I've learned how to swim better. I'm learning a lot of skills. You'd really be surprised. But there's a lot of good, really great things that I've been able to experience since I've been here. So, as far as what the Lord's been teaching me, I'm learning a lot about living my faith actively, and um, how to be pursuing the Lord and to be pursuing my faith and showing it and living it out. The last update I read from Titus, and I'm going to read it again because it keeps applying to my life. Titus, if I can find it, there it is. Okay, Titus 2 verse 7 says, "Show yourselves in all respects to be a model of good works, and in your teaching show integrity, dignity, and sound speech that cannot be condemned, so that an opponent may be put to shame, having nothing to say about us." So it's really been a lesson about how to live your faith actively and how to be a role model and how to be a leader. And this summer I've really learned about who I am, not only as Vivian, but as Vivian the leader. And so it's really been an interesting experience because I'm tougher than I thought, at least with kids. But I've really learned how to discipline children through building a relationship with them and coming to understand what they've experienced and where their heart lies, and if they're seeking attention or if they're just seeking to act out or if they are just doing this because their siblings do it. It's been a lot of me as a teacher has been me as someone who understands them and has a relationship with them, because if a child is acting out because they need attention, you have to treat them differently than a child who's acting out because they don't understand what's happening. And we have both of those kinds of kids here. So I've learned a lot about how to understand what needs to be done for each kid. And we have kids here that are up to 18 years old, so it's like you also can't treat an 18-year-old the same way you treat a 14-year-old the same way you treat an 8-year-old. It's just like there's obviously different, just because of my age and also because of their age, like the difference between our ages, as well as the fact that an 8-year-old sees me differently. So it's really been interesting. I've learned a lot about the fact that I am a leader here, and who I am and what role I need to take on and when. So that's been really cool. So I've been learning a lot about how to live my faith actively. All of my papers are blowing away. How to live my faith actively and not just to be someone who stands here and says, "I proclaim Christ," but to act on that and to show it. And so in my reading of the Bible, I came across Hebrews 12:5 and 6. It says, I tried to memorize it. Let's see if I can get it. My son, no, I don't have it. Hebrews 12:5 and 6. Yeah, my son, do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor be weary when reproved by him. For the Lord disciplines the one he loves and chastises every son whom he receives. So what that verse is saying is, when the Lord disciplines you and shows you your actions and corrects you, don't let it wear you down, but let that be, understand that the Lord is guiding you the same way a parent would guide you. So that's been a cool verse that I came across, because I am not only learning who I am as a disciplinarian, but I'm learning who I am as one being disciplined by the Lord. So the trials that I go through and the things that I've experienced here that have made me want to harden my heart, I have to take those and use them as guidance, because the Lord disciplines me as a father would, as a father does. So yeah, that's been cool, because I've been able to see in myself the rebellious child that I see in these kids. I've been able to see my tendencies towards, "Lord, this is hard. Like, why are you putting me through this?" And a lot of it has to do with, there are kids here that have been through things that hurt me, that to hear about, like if a child has been sexually or emotionally abused, and you've built a relationship with that child, they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you about what they've been through, and you're going to have no idea that has happened to them. most of the time, because the thing is, a lot of these kids have been at least emotionally abused, and a lot of them have also been physically abused. And so the parents don't walk around saying, "Oh, like watch out for that one," because they all have the hurt. They all have been hurt by people, intentionally or otherwise. And so a lot of the time, when you're making sure that kids don't run in the street and you're making sure that kids stay in one place and they're doing arts and crafts, you're not thinking about the fact that they've been through things that are heart-wrenching and just will rip your heart out. And I'm talking specifically right now about kids, but it's true. It's so true of the youth as well, because with the youth, it's not that they hide it better, but they let it become, I don't know, it's just different. But with the kids, it's really, really easy to forget that they've been through things, because you just think of them as like, that's a child that's causing ruckus, but you don't think about the teenagers that way, because the teenagers, maybe they're angsty because they've been through things, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been learning about how to discipline myself as well as who I am as a disciplinarian. So that's been an interesting lesson. I'm going through a celebration of discipline right now, which is a book that talks about the Christian discipline. So that's prayer, meditation, fasting, all those things. And so I've been integrating into my daily life the things that the practices of Christianity. So it's not just like this, I'm a Christian, ta-da. It's let me act in that way. Let me do the things that a Christian is expected of a Christian by the Lord. And so I've been learning a lot about fasting and about praying daily and what those things mean to me and to the Lord. So that's been crazy. So it's been this. I'm learning a lot about how to not be complacent, how to have my faith and to live it actively, and to not get worn down by the things of the world. And though nothing here I'm experiencing, it's not that I'm experiencing hurt, it's that I'm seeing hurt, which, because I'm so, what is the word? Empathetic. There it is. Oh, I don't know. Because I'm a very empathetic person, and so when I feel hurt, it almost like I take it on myself. There's just nothing I can do. I take it on myself involuntarily, and I let that hurt me. Yeah. And so what I've been learning is a lot about how to give it right up to the Lord, and how to show a girl or show a guy how to take their hurt and give it to the Lord. And a lot of these kids already have. Their hearts are unbelievable. A lot of them have been through things that I guarantee you I would not be that joyful if I had been through that. But they have been able to take it and give it up to the Lord. But a lot of what the girls struggle with is feeling valued and feeling cherished. And so there are a lot of girls here who are seeking attention, positive or otherwise. And so I've been really praying, like, Lord, show me how to show these girls how valued they are, and how to seek positive attention, and where positive attention lies, and attention from the Lord, and how they already have it, and all these things. And I found a lot of verses about being made in the image of God, and how we're formed exactly in the way that the Lord intended. Not that we are perfect, but that we are perfectly made. And so I've been able to share that with the girls here, and to share that the Lord loves them and cherishes them so dearly, and that I love them and cherish them so dearly, and that it's not, they don't need to pursue the love of the world, and that's what they do, and it's a lot of them, that's what they do, and it can be heartbreaking to watch. I've seen girls in this camp like on this campus, very blatantly objectified by the boys on this campus, and it's just like this vicious cycle, and it's because the boys have seen their dads do it to their moms, and it's like so many things that you're like, gosh, I wish I could just stand in the middle of it and make it stop, but a lot of it's just a vicious, worldly cycle of sadness and destruction and self-destruction and destruction of others, and yeah. But I've also been able to speak to girls about their worth, and you can see it getting through to them. It's not that I've solved their whole lives, but it's a drop in the ocean in their thoughts, and so that's what I'm here for, I suppose. It's just spread the love of the Lord and encourage some girls. And anyway, it can get very tiring to have to encourage a girl to feel confident walking around. Like, she has been so hurt by people that's where her heart is. Anyway, working on it. But anyway, so I've been working a lot on what it is to have faith faith in my actions, and to express it in that way. And one of the verses I've read is James 2:14, which says, "What good is it, my brothers, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save him? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you says to him, 'Go in peace, be warmed and filled,' without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? So also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead." So that verse says, if you say, "Go be warm," and you don't give someone a blanket, what use is that? It's useless. It's the same thing as having faith and not expressing it. It's the same thing as being a Christian and not being on mission. And I'm not saying doesn't go to Cozumel and go do mission work. I'm saying doesn't do mission work where they are. If you're at home and you're not doing your mission work, what is your faith? If you're going to the grocery store and being mean to people or just ignoring people, what is your faith? It's faith without works, and it's meaningless. Not chastising anybody, but that's really what I've been learning is how to prove your faith with how you act and what you say. So yeah. And I've been going to a church nearby these past few weeks to talk about what it is, to go to church, but we've been talking about also faith about Acts in the book of Daniel. Yeah. And he told this story about a man who crossed, this was like 1800s, late 1800s, there was a man who crossed Niagara Falls on a tightrope with a wheelbarrow with an oven inside of it. And so he went across a rope over Niagara Falls, like over the river right next to Niagara Falls, with an oven in a wheelbarrow. And he crossed it, and he got to the other side, and everybody was cheering. He was like, "Hey, you did it! Oh my gosh, you're insane!" And he walked up to the crowd, and he said, "Who believes that I can do this with a person in the wheelbarrow?" And everyone goes, like, yes, you can do it. We believe. And he says, and he volunteers, and it's just silent. And so that was the point being, like, if you really have faith in something, if you really believe something, prove it with your acts. Get in the wheelbarrow, get in the metaphorical wheelbarrow, and like go. And so barrow? I don't know. But anyway, it's just like the message is prove your faith, prove that you believe in God. If you believe in God and you believe that He's good and you believe that you're sent here to spread the message to people, do it. So it's something that I've been working on with the kids and learning myself. So yeah. Anyway, the children's home was wonderful, and Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.